As for the toothpaste, my guess is that you're going to buy the toothpaste anyway. It doesn't cost that much, and you need it all the time, including right now. Compared to Ford, Colgate is relatively immune to economic downturns. Now that we've considered the bad scenario, the good one is easy. The economy is growing, your company is hiring, and you just got a promotion. Your car is still causing problems though, and yes, you're still almost out of toothpaste. In this case, you're much more likely to buy that new car, and you can see why Ford Motor Company shares tend to be so cyclical. Now about that toothpaste. With your economic prospects looking so good, you can afford to buy tons of toothpaste. But you won't. You're probably going to buy the same amount of toothpaste as you would in bad times. Yes, you can afford to buy more, and yes, you do need toothpaste all the time. But you only need so much of it. Toothpaste isn't like a car. You can delay replacing your car, and a nice new luxury model is a whole lot better than a smaller, plainer one with some wear on it already. Toothpaste isn't like that. Despite what the glitzy ads claim, toothpaste is pretty much just toothpaste. You can see why the toothpaste business is less susceptible to the ups and downs of business cycles than car manufacturers. Because it's safer, it tends to return less. Booms and busts are the bane of economies everywhere. Throughout the early years of the Republic, the United States endured its share of financial panics and bank failures. People weren't sure what to do. To tell the truth, we're still not sure what to do. But people did want an end to the instability. Congress decided that the U.S. needed a way to supply a lot of currency fast if demand for it increased significantly in a short time. Insufficient amounts of currency could cause a panic. In 1912, the National Monetary Commission presented its recommendations. Congress passed the Federal Reserve Act, creating the Federal Reserve System, and then President Woodrow Wilson signed it into law on December 23, 1913. The Federal Reserve System, comprising the Board of Governors located in Washington, D.C., and the 12 regional banks located throughout the country, was born. The Fed is the United States central bank. Most nations with well-developed banking systems have a central bank. In Germany, it's called the Deutsche Bundesbank. In England, it's the Bank of England. The Federal Reserve has three primary functions. First, the Fed system serves as the nation's banker. It's the banker's bank and the government's bank. Banks rely on the Fed to handle a large portion of the nation's payments. We take it for granted that when we swipe our credit card, the proceeds of the purchase will eventually end up in the merchant's bank account. When you deposit a check, you expect the proceeds to end up in your account, not someone else's. These accounts are unlikely to be in the same bank, and you probably don't even notice the name of the bank. The payment system just works, plain and simple. The odds are good that a Fed bank will handle the transfer of money from one bank to the other. The Fed's role as the government's bank is a lot like your personal bank account writ large. Very, very large. The U.S. Treasury has what amounts to a checking account with the Federal Reserve. All federal tax revenues go into this account, and all federal payments go out of this account. The Fed also handles the Treasury's security auctions and redemptions. The U.S. Treasury actually produces the currency in our pockets, but the Fed banks distribute it to financial institutions. The Fed also checks bills for wear and tear and removes damaged currency from circulation. What happens to it? Take a tour of a Fed bank sometime. If you ask nicely, I'll bet that they'll give you a small bag of shredded bills. The ones I have contain about $100 worth of shredded bills. The Fed has excellent shredding facilities. Don't even think about reassembling the currency. Second, the Federal Reserve System is one of the country's bank regulators and supervisors. Ultimately, the goal is a safe and sound banking system. The Fed does allow individual banks to fail now and then. That's okay. If a grocery